Episode 18. How's it going, guys?
It's going.
It's going. I definitely need a beer today.
You have one in
You've
front
got
of you.
one right in front of
I'm
you.
going to open it, though. Let's
All right.
open our beers.
Yes.
What is it?
Wait.
And this is where I mute the thingy. So
No, don't do it.
For God's sakes, though. Yes. All right.
Wait.
Haley, what's up? I'm drinking a Rock Mobster from East Rock.
Ladies, like, what am I drinking?
Brewport's in East Rock? Oh, Port and East Rock.
It was
I
a
used-
collaboration.
I use the
Very
words. I use the words.
Dos Portos.
I went with Counterweight's Workhorse Pilsner.
That's one of your
Is that what you
favorites,
went with?
Yeah.
Wow.
See?
What'd you go with, Kev?
I got People Power. By the power of the people. It's closer than 6 feet.
To be fair, I think you and I are closer than 6
I'm
feet.
going to 6 feet your face. By Kent Falls, it's their, what is this thing?
That was the Hellas, right?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
I believe it was their Hellas.
It's their Hellas Lager, as Americans from Boston say.
I haven't
Which
had that
does
in a
not
while,
include Rob
and I
Gronkowski
enjoyed it
anymore.
last time I had it a lot.
Well, guess
And
what?
Bill farted.
Guess what?
Jerk face.
And
I was tempted to put the microphone up to my butt, but
Is that something you do on a daily basis, Bill?
Yeah, he has butt.
That's okay. I'm drinking some of the last of our boned IPA. We got a little bit left, but we're ripping through it. So
Busy
people,
boned.
people should come down and definitely get some.
Busy,
It's delightful.
It is delightful.
Yeah, I enjoy this beer quite a bit.
I
I like boned.
Fan
I
favorites.
like boned.
Fan favorite.
enjoyed Californication on Friday night. Well, I was zooming.
Oh,
with
you
people.
finally had one?
Yeah.
Well, there's no more.
you were
of that
on the
left.
video chat, Bill.
I was not paying attention to
Yeah,
that
I could
video
tell.
chat at all.
That beer sold out really quick.
You were playing Fallout.
I was
Yes.
playing Fallout.
Yes,
and, then,
76?
and then I went on Heavy Drinking's
Yeah.
podcast video chat, and I was just as bored on that one.
I don't know though.
I don't like video chats.
the
By the
point-
way, people, we're going to do one.
We are.
We are.
And we're making Bill.
Bill's gonna host.
Bill is actually going to be the featured guest.
He's writing a comedy routine.
The best part, I also jumped on the Heavy Drinking podcast after Zoom after everyone left mine and jumped over there without me. I was
I
like, what
just
the hell?
It was funny. I was the first one to
I
jump on
wasn't
that one,
invited.
and then one by one, everyone that was on our previous chat started hopping on. I was like, "What the hell?"
I didn't even know. I
No.
didn't even know it existed.
That's not
Kevin
true.
Kevin didn't show up.
No.
Yeah,
I
my
didn't know that
background.
yours
I was just playing with my
existed,
back the whole time.
I didn't know yours existed.
I put up a thing on Facebook saying, "Hey, if you're bored, I'm doing this at 8 o'clock."
Yeah, well, did you tag
That-
me?
No,
That's how he gets all the
I
ladies.
didn't tag anyone.
That's how he
He
gets
didn't-
all the
he
ladies.
didn't tag
It was-
anyone.
Oh, that's
It
why
was
I
a
didn't know
si-
about it because
You
they
just
don't
put
either.
it up.
It was a science experiment.
He's
to
like,
see
hey,
who my
if you're
friends
bored
actually
and
were.
you want to get some, come on over.
Shocker. I don't have a lot of friends apparently. At least-
That is a shocker. You're a
At
You
wonderful
had
person,
7.
Patrick.
You had 7.
I think I had like a total of 9 people in and out at some point.
I tried to do a video
she
chat happy hour, and I was the only one who showed up.
I just enjoyed just looking at your spinning Voltron in the background.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
Everyone
part.
else was doing crazy backdrops. I made my own out of
To
things.
be fair,
in
I'm
my
pretty
house.
sure I had like 75 backdrops
Yeah,
within an hour.
that was the only thing Kevin was doing was changing backdrops.
Yeah, I was
the
bored.
The best part of the entire night was on the Heavy Drinking Zoom,
Mm-hmm.
where we all put up pictures of Ken. And then we
That
all
was great.
Then we all hid out of like the camera just so we could take like a screenshot
That's
of that.
funny.
It was pretty
Do
fantastic.
we know if he still has his wonderful red mohawk thing?
I don't know. I haven't seen him since last time he stopped down here when he definitely had it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think red is a quote unquote. It was pink.
Yeah.
Kind of a shade of red.
Anywho,
Yeah.
so you brewed
Yeah, we did some cool stuff this week,
blood
right?
orange.
Yeah, I brewed
blood sugar sex magic.
blood sugar sex magic. Yeah,
With a K.
it's
Yeah, that's how it's spelled.
What is that?
for anyone who doesn't know what that beer is, it is a pale ale with peppers and blood orange in it.
Is it like
It's-
Amarillo or Amahuhi?
It doesn't matter. What
Amahuhi.
it doesn't matter what the peppers are. It's
A
spicy,
Mahuhi.
spicy peppers.
It's not Carolina Reapers.
Definitely not Carolina Reapers. No,
No.
it's a pretty polarizing beer. People who like it a lot, But if you don't like spicy, you're gonna hate it.
Yeah, this is one of those beers that you were homebrewing, right? I mean,
Yeah, I've been doing this one for a long time.
before you were a
Won some
professional
awards,
master assistant of the
To the regional
professional brewer.
I think it's the first beer of yours I ever drank way back at
I think
Freedom
that was
Fest
a
in
Freedom
Shelton.
Fest. Yeah, that was before I started adding the blood orange to it too. That was that was
okay.
just
That
the,
whole festival has a new meaning now.
that was an early iteration of that beer. But yeah, I've been changing it little by little over the years.
Yeah,
and just,
and we've had you brought it over here, and we've had it on tap like 2 or 3 times, I think.
yeah, I think we did it 2 times here so far. Yeah, so this will be the third.
Nice. Yeah, and then finish it off. It's with what's that? The blood oranges.
Yeah, blood orange. And the
Yeah,
peppers,
I think we got to the peppers, and then we interrupted.
Yeah, so I mean it's spicy, but it's not over the top spicy. You get a sting from the peppers, but it's not. It doesn't linger. You get a sting. Is that what you're laughing at? Sting. The heat doesn't linger though. It doesn't like build up. And then the fruit
exactly what I'm
and
laughing at.
the fruit and the base beer kind of balance out that heat and kind of keep it refreshing, which is cool.
I did things with a pepper this weekend.
Ooh.
Oh
Do we want to hear about it?
I think I want to.
It also followed by with a lot of ointment.
Yeah. So I've
thought
been,
you were walking funny today.
A lot of aloe.
I have been quietly, producing some jerky in my smoker, doing some test batches of things.
Nice.
And one of the batches that I did on Sunday, in the marinade, I just took 2 habaneros, sliced them in half once, and just let them sit in the marinade to get that little bit of spice, but not overpowering.
Those habaneros.
How's it been coming out?
It's probably one batch away from revealing it to you guys because
Nice.
this batch I gotta turn down the salt a little bit. It was a little too salty.
Yeah. I've only tried it once, and the strips were too thick for me. I want to cut it thinner next time.
Yeah,
but
I'm looking at buying a jerky slicing machine. Because this should shock no one when I want to buy something.
I have it's like a
This is my
wood,
shock
wood
face.
board. It's
Yeah,
yeah.
I have like a meat slicer, but it doesn't quite. It's not fantastic. It's not necessarily uniform. If I forget to freeze the meat, it kind of sucks. So they make these like crank things where you just put like an 1.25 inch slab of meat and crank it through, and you get all these strips of jerky at one time.
That's awesome.
I'm also looking at going and buying like a 50-pound case of meat from Restaurant Depot to do this with.
That is a wonderful idea, and I
I-
fully support it.
I think everyone would fully support
I'd be
it.
happy to volunteer as a test subject for your end result.
I mean, I will.
That's what she said?
I will. Yeah, I will gladly. Anyone that wants to borrow my Restaurant Depot card and go physically buy the meat on my behalf, so I don't have to go to Restaurant Depot, I will give you the money and the first set of samples.
Can I also purchase myself
I
a
don't
case
wanna
of
do
chicken
that.
wings?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Restaurant Depot, don't pay attention. Earmuffs.
I kind of look like Pat if he had a real beard.
Yeah, I mean.
So yeah, I like jerky.
Me too. I'm trying to be more productive with all this downtime.
Yeah.
I actually put together a couple beer recipes this weekend.
Ooh.
Barley wine?
Maybe. And like
Wait,
a
I wasn't done.
and I put together a barley wine recipe. I put together a single hop grain bill so I could try out a couple
That's
different
with one
hops.
Do they
hop,
call that a
right?
shop?
Yes.
No,
Not
that's
necessarily.
a single hop and malt, buddy.
No, that's a smash.
Yeah, Smash is single hop, single malt.
No,
Yes.
you're wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Whether you
Wrong.
agree or not, you should smash that like button though.
Good segue.
This guy is a professional. I don't know if people are watching at home, but he's blossoming in front of your eyes.
We did have some guy who came to pick up some do-si-do today who said he recognized me by my beard from all the promos for the podcast, but he hasn't watched them yet. So hopefully he went home and smashed that like button.
I
and
mean,
hit
hopefully
play.
your beard isn't scaring him away from the podcast.
I mean, my beard's pretty nice.
it's
we could shave it
there.
off again for Smilo.
I mean, I'm not shaving anything.
Yeah, I think
I'm only good.
Allie
I'm
might
only
hurt
good at
you.
raising $500 for you to shave your head.
That was amazing.
That was the
pretty good.
fastest money I've ever seen raised ever.
Oh,
That was-
I saw money raised faster once, but I will not reveal that on audio because it's kind of gross.
Were there boobs involved?
No.
Okay.
those are things I like.
Yeah. So Bill,
What's up?
I hear you got a hot take.
Those
for
are
us
my
today.
interests.
I do actually.
2 of them at least.
I gotta go to random.org though, because
He's not
I
ready.
have two in mind that I wanted to bring up. And
So while he's waiting,
I don't know.
Option
Wait,
B.
you could have just brought a coin and
I haven't.
flipped
I don't
it.
have a coin though. I didn't
all
think
right,
about it.
flip this battery. If it lands on the top,
Random.org has a coin
watch.
flip.
It's that.
There, Bill, flip this Costa Rican money.
Okay.
That might have the flu on it.
Hey, Bill, heads I win, tails you lose.
What you gotta make sure you know which heads and tails on that.
Well,
From Costa Rica,
this one's gonna be the heads for me, and that'll be topic 1. That one's gonna be tails.
the 500s.
It is tails. All right.
Topic 3.
So I'm going to topic 3. Yes.
It lands in the middle.
All right. So topic 2 for me was beer fests are stupid.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
I'm going to. I always do a dramatic pause, and you try to like push me to talk quicker. Yeah.
He's got a plan. Okay.
Beer fest. I think that for the most part, there's some here and there that are really well done, really well organized, and are for a good cause, whether it be charity or whatever the case is. But the vast majority of them are just awful, awful, awful pieces of trash.
Why?
Because
I on a side
His
note,
fourth grade teacher's like,
so
I'm going last
think
on this one. By the
you're
way,
going last.
That
All
was
right.
the
I have
topic
I have a
sentence.
lot of thoughts on
So
this.
I don't like them for the fact that there's just way too many of them right now. So it's
not right
spread-
now. There.
Right now,
Well,
there's none.
Not right now. You're very
I'll show you my calendar.
the general now.
Virtual beer fest Friday.
All right. No.
There's way too many of them. So earlier on, back when I first started getting into craft beer, there wasn't a lot of beer fests, and the ones that did pop up were really well done, and the breweries really brought their A game. They brought like special beers that you may not have seen regularly, or that they brewed specifically for that fest because they were gearing up for it, or whatever the case may be. They brought really, really good beer that was exciting to try, new to try. But now everyone's spread so thin, and there's so many beer fests that you go to a beer fest, you're getting the same beer you can get anywhere else. It's kind of lost its luster, so to speak.
So before we go far down the rabbit hole, I'm not gonna
rabbit.
not gonna disagree from most of what you said, but I will challenge the contradiction.
Challenge accepted.
Because if there are too many, from the brewer's perspective, there's only so much beer that is going to be quote unquote unique available.
Right, that's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It came off as though you were like disappointed that it wasn't unique.
Well, it's also what it.
It's not possible. It's just not possible.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's not possible, and that is
yeah.
what's disappointing, though, is that when there were beer fests, you had something to look forward to because breweries were able to bring more unique beers, and actually, and more willing to bring more unique beers.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's gotten so watered down.
And I think it's also like I think it's like a pissing contest. Like, so if you come to every beer fest, and I'm not challenging what you're saying, I'm just thinking out loud here. If you go to every beer fest trying to give your like the most extreme, most rare beer you can't get,
Yep.
like when does that stop?
Right.
And then at the same point in time, I think that the audience for beer fests evolve over time in like clips. I don't know like the natural progression, but I definitely see the people who are just getting into beer, and those beer fests sometimes are actually valuable for those people.
Yep.
Because they've never, maybe they've only had they live around the corner from us, and they've only really had our beer for whatever reason.
Yeah, so they get to see a whole bunch of in-state breweries and even out-of-state breweries that they probably haven't tried
Right.
yet. So for them, they are trying a lot of new, unique stuff. So
and I think that's where the value is right now. Because then you have like
yeah.
the other clip of people who they've been going to beer fest. Now this is like season 2 or 3 for them, and they're like, I just want to drink the rarest, craziest beers.
Give me your highest ABV.
But what's
No, that's
even
clip
Your
3.
highest
That's
ABV.
clip 3 right there. That's number 3. Number 3 is I heard this was $40 and can drink everything I want. Which is, I guess I respect that. I mean, it's not, but it doesn't help the brand. It doesn't help your connectivity. It doesn't help
Right,
educating them. I mean, if you want to get shit-faced, I guess that's your prerogative, obviously. But as far as the festival is concerned, and most people don't understand that, 95% of all fests, and Julian could speak to this as much as anybody else here, they're all asking, it's all donations. You're not paying for the beer, which is fine with a quality event. You don't need to necessarily make money, but you're trying to get a return. So those customer interactions, when someone's drunk, stumbling about, just trying to get your highest ABV beer, that's why I always love fucking with people. And we bring like 2 session-ish beers, like 5, bring Say It Loud and Hakuna Matata. Like, what's your highest? Like, they're both 5.2.
5%.
They're literally both the same. So you choose. Now you have to make a choice.
I pretty much, if I can.
No, go ahead.
I was like, if to that end, if I can avoid it, I try not to bring anything over 6.5%.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to help you get hammered. If you do get hammered at a beer fest, please take an Uber or have a safe ride home.
Yeah, I think too. Plus,
We're not sponsored by Uber yet, but eventually we might.
I think the people that are organizing the beer fests, and I think they're they're trying to outdo themselves from the last year, or outdo the other beer fests that are surrounding the time frame that they're running their beer fest at. So every year it gets bigger and louder, and you lose that more personal connectivity with customers because you don't really get to have conversations with them. A lot of times you got a big loud band playing, so you can't hear yourself talk anyway, or the person trying to talk. So you got someone sitting in front of your booth trying to talk to you. Meanwhile, there's 4, 5, 6 people deep lining up behind them waiting to get beers, and it's like, hey dude, can you just move please? Because I need to get people these.
My name's not dude guy.
And I also I do a lot of beer fests, and I've been doing a lot of beer fests for the past 5 years, and I enjoy them, but I'm also a little bit burnt out on them because there are so many. We had, I think, 3 or 4 weekends last summer where we had 3 or 4 beer fests that weekend. And it was just insane. And you get people organizing with the best of intentions, and they say, "Oh, well, we're going to have 1,200 people at our beer fest, and it's on the weekend.
Bring 55 half barrels.
It's on the same weekend as 2 or 3 others, and they end up with like 400 or 500."
I'm actually going to give a counterpoint to that comment of one of the problems I have with beer fests is I don't think people are organizing them for the right reasons.
Oh, they're absolutely not.
Right.
I would say that a small handful of the beer fests out there are well thought out, well put together, with a legitimate charity and just really good intentions behind them.
Right.
And those are the ones that just from the email communications before they go off, based on that communication, that it's going to be done right, and you're going to show up, and you're going to be able to set up easily, and the ice is going to be there, and it's going to be well run, and it's going to be a valuable thing to be at. But the vast majority of the ones out there that are asking us to donate beer and donate cases, it's just, well, we've got this one little 501c3 from our town that we're going to benefit, but we're actually only going to give them the bare minimum portion of donation so that we can get away with this, and then we're going to line our pockets up with your beer. And those are the ones that are just honestly just not worth it anymore.
So, this is where I come in.
Dun, dun, dun.
1, 2, 3, go.
I am of the belief that a lot of good can come from a beer fest.
Mm-hmm.
However, execution is often lackluster.
Mm-hmm.
My prime example of the good that can come has been the Hops for Hope festivals that have occurred every couple of years.
That's one of my favorites.
I mean, what was it, like
Absolutely.
$30,000 last time?
I think it was something like that.
I think
Yeah.
it's been a solid 3 years since they've been able to do one.
When you look at how that operation was run, it was super curated in terms of the number of people and the breweries that were there. They asked people to bring specialty stuff for a VIP happy hour to make sure that those super special people that were donating even more money to the charity, super special people, had something to look forward to. They made sure that their entire staff was all volunteer. All the breweries donated because they were all on board with this. It was well promoted that, hey, 100% of the money is going to this charity.
And they were transparent about it.
They're very transparent. And then very quickly afterwards, there was a big announcement like, oh, hey, we raised all this money for this. Cool.
That's fantastic.
More often than not, it's like, oh, we're having a beer fest. And you have to actually, like, beg and pry the information. Like, well, where's the money going? And they won't, the places won't give it to you. And I'm not going to name names because
I've got a story after this, and I
Yeah.
also won't name names.
Yeah, I know you could name names.
I could definitely.
I know what you're thinking about, too.
And
Steve,
a couple.
Bob, Harold,
Yeah,
Kevin's naming names.
MacGyver.
but
Magnum PI.
a few years back, I called out a festival because they wouldn't give me basic information, and they ended up blocking me from social media because I asked a question that should be readily available, and I blew him up so badly after his insult to me that the guy ended up calling me for over 2 hours one night to try to talk me off the ledge on what I was threatening to do.
That guy wouldn't stop calling me simply because I backed up your opinion. I was like, yeah, man, Pat's right here.
Yeah, and he told me, and this is the part. This is literally when I lost faith in brew festivals, except for a selective few that I know are run well. He told me his exact words: "Hey man, that festival. I paid out almost $25,000 last year for that festival, and we only raised $500 for charity. Then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. You fucked up. Look at what we did here with Stout Wars. We raised $2,000 for charity with almost no overhead or expenses, and donated 95% of what we took in the door to charity
Yeah.
after covering all the cost of the little
The
glass.
cost
you
of the
got.
glasses, I think. Yeah,
Like,
And the
for
plastic
yeah.
stuff for the voting tickets.
It's literally whatever
Right.
we most
did
of those
not-
places costs are also their salaries.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not
Yeah.
not
Get
go
too
down this
far.
rabbit hole.
But I do believe that if you have a beer festival where the expectations are, how many people are going to be there, well ahead of time, these are the 25 breweries that are going to be there. Here's a beer list of one thing they're all going to bring. I think you are giving a lot of opportunity to, get beer into the hands of people that have never had your beer. And I think it's an exceptionally valuable tool from the brewery perspective. If you go to a festival in a market where you're just starting distribution or is a little farther away from the brewery, to get that beer into someone's hands that normally wouldn't be able to just drive by. The people within 5 miles of here can get our beer whenever they want. But a guy in Hartford, unless they see it in a store and know about it, they may not be out there looking for it.
I'll say it's yes and no. So don't disagree. It's a great way to get exposure when you're not in that market fully. The disadvantage is, if you haven't heard of whatever brewery, Bob's Brewery, because Bob's got a brewery, and say it's in Hartford County, but they're from the Fairfield and they don't really go to Hartford that often, and you're like, okay, well, where can I get your beer? It's like, well, that one spot sort of carries us. We're doing our best to get the beer out there, but I can't guarantee it's ever going to reach anywhere out here. That's a disadvantage of doing it. So you're sort of making expectations. You're hoping that they're going to come to the brewery or to your market.
Yeah,
at that
that's
point.
what I was going to say. I think a lot of people that are going to the beer fest, though, are willing to travel around to visit breweries. I mean, that's a big, I don't want to say hobby, but it's an activity.
It's a hobby.
Yeah. I mean, people love driving around and checking
see
out
it,
the actual
Getting them
atmosphere.
stamps on the CT.
Yeah, but I think those people, now that the tap rooms are so big, though, I think that the one thing, I mean, this is a rabbit hole we're really going down, but it's fine. I think the one thing I see, though, because of the Beer Trail app and all that kind of stuff, it's almost like fests are like, people are looking forward to the craft beer, the Brewers Fest, which we're able to maintain and do ourselves. And realistically, the go-between is literally the value of going to see the breweries rather than the festival. So a lot of times, I think that's why you get a lot are under-attended festivals, or you're getting non-crafty folks because they're like, it's $40 to go get shit-faced. It's just what it is,
Right.
I absolutely agree with that sentiment. I would say, as close to now as 2 years ago, we were still getting a good amount of people coming out to the beer fest who were interested in learning about the brewery, learning about the beers, asking questions.
What is brewery?
But I would say, especially last year, we did a lot of them last year, and the majority of the people that were attending those brew fests, they didn't really have a lot of questions outside of, oh, what's this beer? What's the ABV? Cool. Where are you guys from? Great. It's Dosito IPA. It's 6.9%. We're in Hampton. Okay, great. Here, let me have some. Cool. I'm going. from my perspective, having been behind the table at almost 30 of them last year, I would say that the majority of current Beer Fest attendees are there to get the value for their ticket, to drink beers, have a good time, and enjoy some local beers, but they don't really care all that much, and they're not that likely to go out and see those tap rooms. I think the people who care about learning about the Connecticut beer scene, have questions, and are interested in where the beer is coming from, why it's made, how it's made, and all that, are visiting tap rooms right now, and they're getting the stamps on that passport, and they're ready to go. Their one big beer fest they're going to do that year is the CT Brewers Fest, where we're all there, and they hit their 50 breweries, they got their VIB ticket, and they're stoked on it.
And well, that kind of rolls into my point on how I'd like to see Beer Fest improve. The CT Brewers Fest does something to make it unique compared to other festivals.
Is it the dance competition?
I remember that. But you can obtain your ticket for free if you go out and do all this stuff in the scavenger hunt. And I would like to see more beer festivals do something that differentiates themselves from other festivals, whether it be a theme or even the breweries themselves that attend. Like, you look around and it's a line of jockey boxes. Make it a festival. You go to a homebrew festival and all the homebrewers have their crazy looking setups and they're dressed up and they're doing stuff. And I think that's the passion that beer fests have lost.
Absolutely, because
5
it's hard
years
to
ago,
do that for 30
exactly.
in
5 years
6
ago, when
weeks.
you only went to a handful a year, it was a little easier to do that.
Right.
But
right.
like Chugga Chugga Brew, where you got to ride the train as part of the beer fest. That was something that was different. We just don't have that anymore. Yeah. It's like, hey, let's go in a field, let's set up some tents, let's drink some beer.
Right.
Yeah,
well, I think that's the thing too. Like, I don't necessarily think they're stupid across the board, as I came in with, but I think as
can't backpedal now.
For the most part, as they are right now, they are stupid. I think though, if we were to see less of them, and the ones that we did see were run better, like you pointed out, Pat. Just with something either more unique or just very transparent with the charity and all that stuff. Then they have value again. But right now they've just gotten so watered down.
Fucking pauses. You never know when he's done.
I know. Well, that's because I'm thinking as I'm
talking. He's farting.
I am also farting.
There's a snare drum.
No, but there's like I said, there's just way too many. Like we're at a point where during the summer you're seeing like 2, 3, sometimes 4 within a week. Like it's just too.
It just
many.
became an easy thing for somebody. Oh, what's a great idea for us to make a little bit of money? Let's throw.
Well, yeah, and I think that goes to point.
So we step off the ledge, people.
And I think that goes to Pat's point of people getting into it for the wrong reasons, like people putting them on for the wrong reasons.
So I was gonna say, can we evolve this hot take and be like, there are too many shitty brew fests.
Not enough.
Yeah,
I was
not enough a quality brew fest.
I was actually going to kind of try to wrap this all up with a
simple
simple.
No,
we've got 6 more
I'm
hours.
Not done talking here.
Well, no, and this kind of goes with what you were saying.
Dun, dun.
I'm gonna quote a movie and everything, as Van Wilder would say. This is a dare to be great situation.
Write this down.
This is a dare to be great situation for those running the beer fests.
Well, no. All right. So before we go too far, I respect your stance, but give it a minute. It's this. I think there are some great beer fests out there, and the core idea of a festival is still wonderful. I think the idea of a festival is to get exposed to brands that you've never had before in an entertaining way, and maybe stuff that you have had before, but you're also being exposed to all those brands at once. And I think it's supposed to be overwhelming. Like, I think it's okay to be overwhelming. People are like, oh, well, your palate, blah, blah. I think it's okay. I think the point of that is to be a little overwhelming, to immerse yourself in that culture of craft beer, right? So I think that's okay. I think the challenge is that the motives of a lot of people, and I don't care, you can think about yourselves, who has the right motives. I think the problem is that there's too many poor brewfest based on poor motives. People are trying to leech off of the popularity of craft beer. Yeah. They're trying to, like, when's the last time you went to Marshall's, Bill? Your favorite?
I go there all the time. I haven't been in a long time.
And you're like,
they're not open.
And Bill goes over to Marshall's and he's like,
I can't find my membership card.
You walk into Marshall's and you're like, guys, so my other buddy, Steve, he's got a bachelor party coming up. Can you guys donate a couple things for my friend's bachelor party. That's what happens at breweries. And then like I'm like whatever, like when it's regulars or something like that, we're probably fine with it. But like then imagine like I literally had one where like it was like Steve had a bum leg. Like, can we have a Steve's bum leg beer fest? It's like, no, I can't donate beer to that. That's not legal.
What did he have a bum leg and a bachelor party on the same day?
That was actually after the bachelor party. But so I guess my only statement, before you go into it, Pat, is just that I think there's nothing wrong with the idea and the true spirit of what a beer fest is supposed to be. The problem is there's too many vultures leeching off of the craft of beer. I think that you see it in effectiveness of festivals that are either at its heart trying to do good, meaning the actual charity, like the one that Micro runs. Mm-hmm. They're trying to do good. Mm-hmm. It's also a little unique. It's it's at a
greenhouse.
The
greenhouse,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
have like a jazz band. Also, it's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like that one.
But it's 100%. For charity. He'll also pay for the beer if you don't want to donate it. But normally, most people just donate the beer because it's for charity. And there's also great people. But then, so I think you have those ones that either people are in for the right reasons as far as they were trying to do real good.
Yep.
So they are, they're in the spirit of that. I think you also have some that are in the spirit of the enjoyment and uniqueness, as you were going to, for craft beer. So having that unique experience to immerse yourself in the craft beer environment, I think is a fantastic thing as well. And then I think your third one is the ones that are just like, pay me $40, give me free beer, and I'm going to walk away and I'll donate $15 to this cancer thing. And then I totally was nonprofit. After I pay myself 6 figures and I pay you 6 figures and I pay you 6 figures, we have $500 left over.
Right.
And now that $500 goes to charity because that was all our expenses, so I don't think that's the extreme model, so please don't quote me on that, people. But I think that's the problem. So then when the majority of the people are in that third category, but this is where I'm finishing, and then Pat can actually finally talk. I promise. I think it also shines through now. There are so many educated people that you either get turned off by a beer fest, and you don't know why. Like, either I don't know what happened here, and at the same time, I think you get turned on. I said it, baby.
I'm turned on.
How
right
you doing?
now.
How you doing?
That Pilsner, Bill.
Let's
It
get
was
it
that
on.
Pilsner, right?
But I think you get
All
turned on to certain brew fests, and I think it's because of the right reasons, how they execute it, the uniqueness of it, and the way I'll finish is outside of a low-key, like, elevator music level volume band.
What is
Fuck bands at beer fests.
Yes.
Drop
Do not
mic.
have
We don't.
bands at
we don't
beer
need.
fests.
That part doesn't need to be a hot take because that's just.
No,
how it
that was
should
my
be.
aside. That was my aside. I'm okay with like the jazz band at the thing
Yeah.
because it's like you can actually talk still and enjoy yourself.
Exactly.
I'm not going to a
Yeah.
concert. If I'm going to go to a concert, I'll go to a concert.
Right, a reasonable level. Well, I mean, because that's the, and that
That's a
goes
whole
back to
other,
what I
that's
was.
a whole other topic of conversation. That we don't
Phil,
need to
take
actually,
note.
We actually don't need to converse about that because
We all
that's
agree.
the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah, that's not even a hot take. That's just a take.
Yep.
So to wrap it up, I do believe that beer fests are a valuable tool in the industry,
Yeah, they have their
but
place.
I want to challenge everyone out there that it's running them.
Hot
to-
take challenge. What?
Yeah. I mean, it's a dare to be great situation. As a consumer, I am at the point where I'm not going to go to a beer fest every weekend. I typically go to 1, maybe 2 a year at this point. So my challenge to the people
Probably
running-
working them.
No, I
I have him signed up for 9 this summer.
no. My challenge to people out there running beer fests and that are involved with beer fests is I'm only going to go to 1 a year as a consumer. You need to do something that makes me want to choose your beer festival over all others out there.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever that hook, whatever that niche is, if everyone started doing that, I think beer fest would be an amazing thing once
It
again.
says, I choose you. There's a picture of a
but
train.
if everybody starts doing that, Patrick, then they can't just make quick, easy money off of free beer that people donate.
Yeah. Well, we're not gonna. That's another topic of conversation. I think we've covered this enough, at this point.
Yeah, I think
We're
good.
just starting to beat a little bit of a dead horse.
Yeah.
You know?
Lainey's like, I am fucking done now. It's my turn to talk.
Laney's ready to do a beer fest.
Yeah. She
Cool.
got scared of the microphone.
Well, I think now that we're all wrapped up with that, we have a little bit of food to share.
I'm hungry.
super
I'm
freaking
hungry
right
at this
now.
point.
Is it time for food for thought?
You know who could,
Did we just name the segment? I think we did.
Patrick? You know who could help out right now today on Tuesday?
No, but you're gonna tell me.
I'm certainly about to tell you.
Tuesday,
That's literally what I was
Tuesday.
Our friends down at Bar Pizza in New Haven, best mashed potato pizza.
How do you spell that?
Out there, BAR space pizza.
There's no silent H?
No,
Okay.
and pizza's phonetic. Figure it out. So our friends at Bar
PIC9.
Pizza, this week is the first week that they are open on Tuesday during this whole quarantine situation until
Ooh,
9 p.m. for their takeout.
perfect timing.
And I believe they're also open Wednesday through Sunday. And you can go down and get some kick-ass, thin crust, legit New Haven style pizza. The only real pizza in the world comes from New Haven, and
What's your favorite from Bar?
I love their mashed potato.
See, I don't like that one.
Neither
But
do I.
that's
I do.
okay.
I hate mashed potato
Although
pizza.
they're probably most popular one.
Not just there, anywhere, like in
No.
general. I
So-
do not like mashed
So
potato
when I
pizza.
go to bar,
Agreed.
it's usually to eat mashed potato pizza. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, yeah.
But the thing about it is, their mashed potato pizza might actually be better reheated the next day.
I've heard that.
That's
I've heard
not
that.
wrong.
So whenever I go to bar to order mashed potato
Order
pizza,
4 pizzas.
we always order one for the table, and the second the guy drops it off, we're like, "And can you get one to go?"
There you go.
Because
Now you can only get one to go.
Very true.
have to
They
skip
also
step one,
happen
go right to step two.
They also happen to make some pretty great beer there too. I know not everybody thinks of Bar as a brewery, but they are. They're actually one of the older
Yeah.
brew pubs in the state. And
Are they
Woody,
doing
Dave
to-go
Woody
stuff?
down there? I don't know if they're doing to-go beers. I'd have to double check, but we figure out. We'll put it in the info. You can smash that like button.
I'm just
you
gonna
can
put
hit
their
the bell.
I'm just gonna put their link to their Facebook page. I'm
Well,
not gonna
that's
lie.
cool too.
I mean, if you want to add more links, Julian, that's for you, buddy.
I will send them to you, and
Do
you can
not-
copy pasta them.
I'm not doing anything except put their Facebook posts.
I'm gonna end the recording soon and hit the upload button.
You're gonna smash the like
So,
button.
Yeah.
end of food. Wait,
He wasn't ready for it.
I gotta get into it.
I remember to turn it back on this time.
Hey. All right, people. So, hot take is Bill smells like butt.
I mean, that's not a hot take. That's just a fact.
It's another fact.
That is just a fact.
We're just laying facts on people all day.
How many showers per week are you guys averaging now?
Yeah,
800.
way too many. That
My skin is
All right,
Thanks for
people.
hanging out. Keep living that
Drink
hammock
some
life.
local beers.
Cheers, guys.
Check out the links. Cheers, everybody.